Hello, how are you? My name is Chris Quinlan and welcome to the Drum Show. Essentially what I'm talking about tonight is a continuation on last week's episode all about resolution points. What resolution points are essentially the point where your right hand fits your left foot, your left hand fits your right foot, your feet fit your feet, all this sort of business. So if I just launch straight into it a little bit, what we've got is, let's say, our right hand with our left foot on the hi-hat. With that, what I can start to do is put in-betweens with my left hand. See what I was doing then? I was essentially just really improvising a little bit with the essential resolution point of right hand, left foot. Now, just yesterday I played a wonderful little clinic or wonderful shop, GH Music in Flemington, where I talked about this. It's a continuation of last week's show, and so I'm cutting in some footage from my little clinic at GH Music. But, you know, the sound is a little bit different because it's not studio. It was like a guerrilla recording, so to speak. Just a couple of little simple microphones and all of that. So you have to deal with shop sounds and all of that. So I'm cutting in this footage to really clarify what I was talking about, you know, when I go out and do a show of this nature. It starts out very simply. It starts out simply just doing this with the hi-hat, let's say. Right hand, maybe I'll put it on the ride cymbal. Like so. Pardon me. Got a bit more complicated there, I suppose. But that's essentially what goes on. And I'm really doing my right hand, left foot with this. And really just continuing on with that kind of resolution point. Okay, more of this after the break. Back from the break, and what I'm doing now is going to extend the resolution point, so to speak, to occupy different things. Let me talk about what resolution points are. What you have is two hands, 2 feet, hopefully a brain in the middle. Maybe. Anyway, and what happens is what we're doing is combining these kinds of things. You could simply just start off with just both hands. You do this a lot. I mean, if I'm going to talk John Bonham, rock and roll. So on. I could do both feet. So I could maybe do what I was doing last segment. So on, you see. And what I could do is a little flamenco thing called zapateado, which is really just what the dancers do in Spanish flamenco. You might have, using my double hi-hat set up here, so you could have this kind of talk about that another time, but basically what I'm doing here is my coordination points. There can be 6 things. If you're talking about a coordination grid, 2 hands, 2 feet, you can have 1, the 2 hands, 2, the 2 feet. You could have right side, okay, right hand, right foot. You could have left side, left hand, left foot. You could then have the diagonals. You could have right hand, left foot, or left hand, right foot. 6 coordination grids. You could turn it into 12 if you do it with opposite starts. You know, if I'm just going to do a single stroke roll on my right hand side, it would be a floor tom and the bass drum. So something like that. Or you could turn it upside down and just do it with the foot start. So it becomes a little bit more offbeat. When you're dealing with double bass drum, let's say, the typical thing would be a right foot start. Like that. But Steve Smith is a guy who talks a lot about starting with your left side. My old teacher, Harold Ripper, used to do that a lot as well. So if we go with a typical sort of double bass drum boogaloo pattern, okay, what I'm doing there, the resolution point is really my right hand and my left foot. What I'm doing here is really right hand, left foot, and dropping my right foot on the in-betweens. What I'm doing here is a single stroke roll, right hand start with my hands, but a left foot start with my feet. Something like that anyway. So I hope you're getting something out of that. Sorry, I'm just getting a bit distracted with my timings. And more of this after the break, I suppose. Okay, there you go. See you soon. Right hand, and I'm going to talk about what's called a resolution point now. I'm simply splashing the hat instead of just like that. Right hand only. resolution points, and how simple things can become a little bit more progressive, if you like, complex, if you want, complicated. And what I've always said, it's in my grade 2 drum set manual, is that sometimes the most complex things are just two simple things sandwiched together. You see, some of the things that I've just been playing today for this show is really fairly straightforward in its concept, in the sense that I seem to have just concentrated on my hi-hat. I see that as one of the most important things. I often call the hi-hat the linchpin. And when I get a little bit out there with my drum set music and everything that I've explained, I'm hoping that when I get, you know, like, I'll put it this way, if I just sort of just do this, they're just random hits when I do it like that, okay? But if I set it up with an intro, all right, so if I go, oh, not an intro like that, I'll start again. I'll leave that in. And this is something that Frank Zappa talks about a lot. One of the things that I very much hope, I played almost randomly, but within it, the resolution point and the linchpin was the hi-hat splashing on the crotchets. I played with it, I played against it, I played around it. Now, this is very much the domain of progressive rock, if you will, and then if we're getting into the world of classical music, well, you know, we called it 20th century classical music, 20th century music. Of course, now it's 21st century music. And you're talking about people like Stravinsky, who use polyrhythms a lot. And you're talking about things like Luciano Berio. You have a lot of different people, Stockhausen, you know, a lot of people like that, Pierre Boulez, who actually collaborated with Frank Zappa there for a while. And a lot of out-there rhythms. And what even Frank Zappa said is that the thing about polyrhythmic music, you know, the thing about when you're playing rhythms, it can be mumbo-jumbo unless it has something that it's getting placed against, you see. So one of the really interesting things for so much music is that you might have something that's got just a basic rock beat behind it, you know, a basic groove. And then what you put around it, Dakata is based on Indian raga a little bit, thakata and stuff like that. And it's, you know, it's mnemonic, you know, if you can say it, you can play it. That's why I talk about fives being hippopotamus, sevens, Gina, Lolo, Brigida, Gina, Lolo, Brigida, Gina, Lala, Brigida, Gina, Lala, Brigida, Gina, Lala, Brigida. What was that at the end, Chris? Gina, Lala, Brigida. There you go, 7-syllable words. For those who don't know what, or who Gina Lola Brigida is, she's this beautiful Italian actress. And I've explained that on the, at the clinic yesterday and on the show many, many times over the years. So that's what goes on there. So we're talking about resolution points. We're talking about what we can do around the drums and how some of these more progressive bands, like I'm talking a lot about Mastodon lately. I'm talking all my old favourites, Jethro Tull, King Crimson, Frank Zappa, all of these people from the 70s. But there's so much going on with progressive metal that has this, Meshuggah, which is a really hardcore band. Sometimes a bit difficult to listen to, but, I mean, they're a great band. What happens is their music is very much of that ilk. And I suppose I should talk quickly about polyrhythms versus polymeter. Polyrhythms are two separate beats played against each other. So probably the most common is 3 against 2, and we know that best as nice cup of tea. So you have nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea. My right hand is playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Left hand is playing 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Put them together, 1, 2. 3 against 2. Nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea, nice cup of tea. Around it now. Something like that. That was just an improvisation based on a 3 against 2 polyrhythm. In certain fields of music, you would call it a hemiola. And what a hemiola is the feeling of playing 6 quavers. 6 quavers can be found in 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 groups of 3. And 6 quavers can also be found in 1 bar of 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So when you've got 3/4, which is in simple triple time, and then you have 6/8, which is compound duple time, and you play one against the other, it is called a hemiola. Now in Spanish flamenco music, where they have a wonderful little rhythm cycle called the compás, which is in 12/8, you have 2 groups of 3 and 3 groups of 2. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If I had to count it up to 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the very famous song from West Side Story, I want to be in America. Da 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 ba da da bam 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 ba da da ba da 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 dum dum ba da 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 dum bam bam ba da 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 da. Hemiola from Española. There you go. I just like saying it. Hemiola. It sounds like something you need a cream for. Anyway, and that's what happens there. So I hope you're getting something out of tonight's show. What it's all about is resolution points. And I've talked about the hemiola. I've talked about Spanish flamenco and the compás, just a little bit, that sort of thing. But the main thing is the resolution point and the coordination grid you have. You have 2 hands, you have 2 feet, and there's 6 possibilities. You have right hand and left hand, right foot, left foot, right side, right hand, right foot, left hand, left foot, and then you have the diagonals. You have right hand and left foot, or left hand and right foot. 6 possibilities, and you can double up by starting on the opposite side as well. So I hope you get something out of tonight's show. It's called Resolution Points. And really what I'm going on about is really just sort of talking in a big way about the way that you can expand your playing by incorporating this into your different, into the way that you practice and all of that. Now, one of the things I say, just really to finish off, is that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You can easily say, well, I'm never going to need that. And you probably never will, because you'll never practice it. No one will know that you can do it, because you can't, and you'll never get asked to do it. But if you sit down and really work at it hard, somebody who's a bit of a kindred spirit, who loves the music of Frank Zappa, will say, I know this dude who can handle all that stuff, let's give him a call. I need someone who can play West Side Story for the local school production. I know a guy who can handle the polyrhythmic stuff that Leonard Bernstein wrote for this, probably the most loved production in the world, really. It's a glorious piece of music. And who can probably handle the polyrhythms. I love this band called Mastodon, who's a heavy metal band, but all the little rhythms they do is crazy. And I know this dude, but he can only just play straight 4. We won't ring him. But there's this other guy down the road who can. We'll ring him instead. Hey, what do you reckon? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you actually think this is all rubbish and then you don't, that's your prerogative, and you will probably never need it because no one will ever ask you to use it. If you practice it like crazy, you will find that things just come to you. And when they come to you, you will have a big smile on your face and you go, God, I'm glad I I practiced that like crazy a couple of years ago, because now I'm getting good, solid work. I think I can make music a go as a full-time profession. Whew, I can give up my factory job or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Do you see? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't want it, don't worry about it. And, whatever comes to you your way, that sort of stuff. So anyway, I didn't mean to prophesize on it or do any kind of psychological stuff. I'm just saying it's the keys to the kingdom for so much progressive music that's coming out these days. You just have to scratch the surface. Certainly not on the radio, but it's all over YouTube, and it's at every second hard rock festival that you see. When you're talking Metallica, Mastodon, some of the Phantomas, anything that Mike Patton does. My God, what a great artist he is. Trent Reznor. He just layers up on polyrhythms, 9 Inch Nails and all the stuff that he's won Academy Awards for with his movie soundtracks. Amazing stuff. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, my name's Chris Quinlan. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I've done it pretty much in one take. I'm setting down a challenge to myself. I'm playing live to camera. I want to get back into just doing live to camera stuff, sitting here, talking it, playing it straight to you, that kind of thing. And I'm hoping it sort of comes off with just a one-take show, if you know what I mean. There's something about that, sort of thing that I really like about it. So I want to continue with this as much as I can. Anyway, my name's Chris Quinlan. It's The Drum Show, Melbourne Musos. If you want to contact me, it's melbournemusos@hotmail.com. The YouTube site is YouTube/Melbourne Musos. And if you'd like to check out the website, it is thedrumshow.net. Okay. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Okay. See you later. Bye.